Welcome, all sports fans and everyone across the nation. This is Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Carlos Clayton, and we're here to break down Damian Lillard's top five trade destinations that I think he should go to. And we're breaking down five through one. I give you the reason why it will be easy and why it will be tough for him to go to these situations. And we all know about the Damian Lillard fiasco during free agency that was going on, and he's pretty much the main piece. Uh, Not necessarily a bowling block, whatever, not a domino effect because he was someone that was within the Trailblazers organization, so it wasn't a domino effect. So people weren't waiting on him to choose a destination. A lot of guys were going here and there, left and right. Soon as the free agency period opened up, but we were kind of shocked, kind of not shocked to hear that Lillard wanted a trade request and he demanded a trade, and he gave his heart and soul to the Blazers for 11 seasons. And sometimes when you're in a destination like Portland, you can't really garner big names to play sidekicks with Damian Lillard. You can only hope that that the draft would get you your necessary players. And some panned out, but a lot did not pan out for the Portland Trailblazers. And here we are now. You can only give so much to an organization until you realize it is time to leave and go elsewhere. And he deserved to make that move. A la Kevin Garnett with the Minnesota Timberwolves, where you busted your butt for over a decade and the organization just because of where you live at in Minnesota and Portland. Those are just places that free agents just don't want to go. So it's really tough to really get a really good team via the trade, right? And you got to cross your fingers when it comes down to getting someone out of the draft. And that's why now, after 11 seasons, Damian Lillard wants to be traded and he wants to go somewhere. So I give you my top five trade destination where I think Lillard will end up with. So he went out there and said, I need a trade. And, he wasn't a domino effect, like we said. So we understood that it was on his terms. But what we also have to put in consideration is Lillard wants to go to Miami, right? He's really good friends with Bam Adebayo, and they have a great culture out there. But we have to understand that the Portland Trailblazers organization is going to do what's best for them, not as what best is for Lillard. Because let's be honest, it is a business first. So they're going to do what is best for the organization before they trade, before they just succumb to Lillard's trade demands, right? You want to get the most draft picks. You want to get the best back out of it because, like I said, it is still a business, and the Blazers have to think about the Blazers first before they think about Damian Lillard. Although Lillard was the guy over the last 11 years who made things work. At the end of the day, he doesn't want to be there anymore. So you just don't want to give him up for pennies and scraps and say, you know what, we love you so much. You can just go to anywhere you want to go, and we'll just take less for it, and then we'll just take the heat for it over the next 5, 6, 7 years on how crappy our team is. No, they want the best out of it. So here are my top five destinations where I believe Dame Lillard should go to. And if you agree or disagree, let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about where I have Lillard may or may not be going to. All right, y'all, let's go number five. The number five team I think Lillard has a chance to go to. The New Orleans Pelicans. I think this team out the Western Conference is a good fit for Lillard, but who are you going to pretty much trade? There is CJ McCollum. You have names out there. And if you're the New Orleans Pelicans, how far do you go? Because not only is there McCollum, right? But now you have draft aspects you got to get rid of, right? Trades and the draft, right? So you want to trade McCollum and then you can get draft picks. And I do believe that McCollum will be a nice fit back in Portland, right? That's only if they make it happen. But it's all about the young talent, the draft. They want the draft picks from New Orleans, and they have a plethora of those draft picks. Few first rounders, few second rounders, but then you get Damian Lillard to New Orleans, McCollum to Portland, another player here there. But I think that the culture is all about Zion Williamson though, and Damian Lillard's got to understand that if he's there, he's going to be the man, right? It's not going to be Zion's squad, but I do think that they will mesh very well. They will mesh very well because Lillard is Dame Lillard, right? And that New Orleans Pelicans team with Brandon Ingram over there as well. We can't forget about Ingram. We can't forget about that young talent, Herb Jones and guys like that. This would be a great fit, in my opinion, for Lillard. And they have some draft picks that the Blazers might be interested in. So don't be shocked if we find out that Lillard is a Portland Trailblazer. I mean, is a New Orleans Pelicans when it's all said and done. Excuse me. So let's not be shocked that if he is a New Orleans Pelicans because they have the young nucleus. Now it's all going to depend on Zion when it's all said and done. How far the Pelicans go with or without Damian Lillard. But you add Lillard in that mix with that young team and with a healthy Zion and a healthy Brandon Ingram, hey, Lillard to the Pelicans might be a huge deal. We'll find out. That is my number 5 trade destination for Damian Lillard, the New Orleans Pelicans. Number 4, let's get right into it. I think the San Antonio Spurs. And before you say, well, dang, Carlos, they got no one there. Well, they have a generational talent. What most folks are saying in Victor Wembanyama, right? 7'5", and he's going to be a generational player. Well, obviously that's a big part. But then the second part is Greg Popovich slash the Spurs organization, top class organization forever now, over 25 years. They have been a top class organization. Lillard wants that. He hasn't had that per se in the Blazers, as in a good organization, but not putting it on paper as well. Where we've seen the Spurs, it feels like every time the Spurs get a number one overall pick, they do fairly well with that number one overall pick, a la David Robinson back in his day, and then Tim Duncan now, and we know about Tim Duncan, in my opinion, top 5 of all time. But now you have the Spurs with Victor Wembanyama, and they got a young nucleus and Lillard. But my thing is, will Lillard want to go and try and start with this new young team, right? You have the organization, you have the head coach, you have the superstar in the making in Victor Wembanyama, right? Now it's up to, do you want to sit back and wait 1 or 2 years before you can climb that mountain? Because he's done that in Portland. I don't think Damian Lillard really wants to stress more about waiting once again for the young nucleus to catch up to his level. So I do like the Spurs better than the Pelicans, but that's why the Spurs are number 4 trade destination, because they're so young, and it might still be another year of some sort of rebuild mode. And I don't think Lillard wants to go over there. But like I said earlier, it's not about Lillard. It's about the Trailblazer organization and how they feel who will give them the most back in a trade. So number 5, Pelicans. Number 4, the San Antonio Spurs. All right, my number 3 pick for the Damian Lillard top 5 trade destinations, we're going with the Los Angeles Clippers. Yes, I said it right, man. And this team, look, if you're the Clippers, a lot's got to go down. I don't know about no trade clauses, but you got Paul George, you got Kawhi Leonard on that team, making a lot of money, doing a whole lot of nothing, in my opinion. This Clippers team is good. They are good on paper, and we're talking about the biggest if in the world, if Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are both healthy at the same time with their unit that they run, this team is very dangerous, but it feels like it's either or. Pick your poison in the worst way with the Clippers when it comes to Kawhi Leonard or Paul George. Who can stay healthy? If I'm the Clippers, I am trying to trade one of those guys to the Blazers, and I want Damian Lillard. Lillard has shown, for the most part, he stays relatively healthy. He's a scorer. He's Mr. Big Buckets. We know about that. And you bring him in Los Angeles, and mind you, the Clippers are going to open up their brand new arena in the 2024 season. And why not have Damian Lillard there to showcase, right, in Inglewood, California, this brand new destination for the Los Angeles Clippers, and Damian Lillard be the forefront of it all. Mind you, I think the Clippers are still in championship mode. I'm not gonna back down from that mode. Honestly, just out of being kind of crazy, I picked the Clippers to represent the West in the finals. But once I found out Paul George was not going to play in that round against the Suns, I found it rather difficult. And of course, Leonard only played the first two games, and that was all she wrote for Los Angeles. But man, you just look at the what if scenario. If you trade Kawhi, keep Paul George, or you trade Paul George and keep Kawhi Leonard, and you get a Damian Lillard with that, with their great balance of talent on that team from top to bottom. That's a scary destination for Damian Lillard to go to, and the Blazers will be getting a star in return in Kawhi Leonard or Paul George if those guys are healthy and willing to play for the Portland Trailblazers. So that's how I think it'll go down if he goes to the Clippers. But I love that destination, right? I feel like that would be perfect for Lillard. One, Lillard is an Oakland, California kid. Well, I mean, he's going to be in Los Angeles, not necessarily Oakland, but it's still going to be in California, right? Not too far from home. And you're with the Clipper squad, and that's not a lot of, you know, it's not a lot of stress as being a Laker per se because the Clippers haven't won anything yet in their existence of the NBA. So Pelicans 5, Spurs 4, Clippers 3, and our number 2 destination. We're going to go with the Philadelphia 76ers. You heard it right here. The Philadelphia 76ers. And here's my thought right here, my thought process. Um, One, I mean, Joel Embiid and Lillard would be awesome. That's going to be a great two-man game, almost like a Nikola Jokic and a Jamal Murray type of two-man game. A lot of pick and roll for those guys, and who you're going to stop on a daily basis. You know that Lillard is not James Harden at all. Lillard does not come up short in big time moments where we've seen Harden in many playoff games just come up super short. As far as Lillard, he rises to the occasion. I can see a James Harden being traded. He wants to be traded, right? Why not the Sixers and the Blazers have a trade, bring Harden to the Blazers, and then maybe Harden has a buyout. I don't know how it really goes because he's not going to want to play for the Blazers, obviously. But if I'm the Blazers, I trade. I bring Lillard to the Sixers. I get Harden, buy out his contract, and let him choose his own team that he wants to. But also, hopefully, get picks out of it too, right? Or maybe get Tobias Harris, keep Tobias Harris and get a few more players, maybe Maxi in that deal, Maxi and Harris for Lillard and another player. But now you have Maxi, who is that guy that you can kind of have a big part of your organization in the next 2 or 3 years be a big part, and not only with getting the draft picks from the Sixers, but who knows? But I think that both teams can complement each other. Maxi's like he's only like 24 years old, whatever, 24, 23, somewhere in that range, I believe. A young, maybe star in the making. I will trade Maxi. Maybe you bring on a Tobias Harris, and then the Blazers will add someone else to their trade to that trade with Lillard to go to Philadelphia. I like that. I understand like the Embiid and Lillard process would be amazing, but also we got to see, Joel Embiid score more than 15 points in a game 7 as well. But a lot of pressure would not be on Embiid because you have Dame Lillard, who I think is head and shoulders better than James Harden. Like head and shoulders better than Harden, and I think that those two guys will complement each other very well in Philadelphia. So we have Pelicans 5, Spurs 4, Clippers 3, and the Sixers number 2. And I think the number 1 team that Dame Lillard, the top 5 trade destination, the number 1, it's obvious that we've all been knowing about it and talking about it. The Miami Heat. The Miami Heat should be the spot where Damian Lillard will really, really want to go. And that is the spot that he wants to go. It's obvious. He said it. I want to be a Miami Heat. One, he's cool friends with Bam Adebayo. All right, we all know that. And two, the culture. If one is Miami, but two, the culture. Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, and this team has been to the NBA Finals. Believe it or not, y'all, 2 out of the last 4 years they've been in the NBA Eastern Conference Final. I think the last 4 years. So they have been there, done that. And here's my thing: the East is nowhere near as good as the West. If you are a Damian Lillard and you go to Miami, that is an automatic top four in the East. And of course, we've seen the Heat. It doesn't matter where they're seated at, whether it was five in a bubble, whether it was eight this year, they can go to the NBA Finals because the Eastern Conference is not that daunting. Think about it. That Heat team, the only team that really no, two teams. The Bucks and the Celtics are the only two teams that you sort of fear, and the Heat beat them both. And the Bucks are supposed to be this team, even though Giannis didn't play basically 3 out of the 5 games. If you're the number one seed and you lose your best player, you should still beat the number 8 seed. But it tells you how good Miami is, and it tells you how poor the East is as a whole. That a number 8 seed in today's generation, the first true 8 seed, not the Knicks that went in 1999 in that lockdown year, that lockup year, right? So this is a true number 8 seed that actually went to the NBA Finals and even won a game against the Nuggets in the NBA Finals, but they're missing that guy. And how do you do it? You could probably just look. Strus is gone. Gabe Vincent is gone. All that money is gone. They are now chipping away, trying to have a destination spot for Damian Lillard, right? Without having to trade anybody else, without having to, trade anyone on the current roster right now. So obviously Damian Lillard is worth having if you got to cut ties with Strus, cut ties with Vincent. Damian Lillard is head and shoulders and another head and shoulders above those two guys combined. So I think that the destination to the NBA Finals is right there, like right there, more than him being with the 76ers because they're the same Eastern Conference team as well. But I think the destination to the NBA Finals is a lot easier with Miami because of their pedigree. Jimmy Butler's there. He's a dog. Bam Adebayo, a dog on defense. I think Lillard will be just fine. And there's a reason why he keeps wanting to go to Miami because of what we spoke on. Pat Riley, the organization. All they do is win. Eric Spoelstra, great coach, top three coach in today's NBA. And of course, they've been to the finals now 2 of the last 4 years. And it's almost not like a cop out because although they've been to the finals, let's be honest, in the bubble they're the 5 seed. And this year they're the 8 seed and still made it. So it's not like this is a super duper team that Lillard's going to. I think they will complement each other fairly well, you guys. So uh Damian Lillard's top five trade destinations to me: number five, the New Orleans Pelicans; number four, the San Antonio Spurs; number three, the Los Angeles Clippers; number two, the Philadelphia 76ers; and number one, the Miami Heat. Those are my top five Damian Lillard trade destinations. Where do you guys think Lillard will go or where he should go? Let me know in the comment section down below. And it's going to be a very interesting next couple of days where Lillard will finally be traded to somebody. I give it 2 or 3 days, maybe even today. You never know, man. But let me know in the comment section where do you think Damian Lillard will end up um, via trade, right? So we're done. All sports fans, you guys know what time it is. Stay smart, stay uneducated. Peace. Love you, mama. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy.